What do you mean? That's the only toothpaste I have right there.
No, I have 2 other brand new boxes of toothpaste in the drawer over there.
I think that must have been bought at Costco this last time we were there.
Oh, a bunch of toothpaste.
Nope. That's...
I'll
Put that in the top right.
Okay.
Hello, are we streaming?
Toothpaste? Okay.
The other ones aren't mine.
Yeah.
Am I live? Well, we're sort of there. Okay. We are live. That's good. Anybody out there yet? The new restream doesn't show. Nope, have no people here yet. 3 channels out. I think I'm live. Hold on, I'm gonna check. Yep, it appears that we are live. Yes or no? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Someone respond. Hi, can you hear me? Am I streaming? Can you see me? Since Alex is the only one answering, can you see me? Because mine says I'm not streaming. Whoop. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, okay, I'm there. So you can see me, you can hear me. We're good. All right. Well, there it is. How much better can it get than that? I don't like that they don't let us make this smaller. That's as small as it goes. Setting. Oop.
What's the switch login? What's the switch login?
Okay. I guess that'll do. Yay. Hello, kind and gentle folk. How are we doing this evening? Woohoo! Hiya. How's it going, my brother? It has been hectic, man. I'll tell you what. Trying to get myself in order. It's been snowing. It stopped snowing. We don't have snow at the moment, but it's been snowing a lot in poor Seattle. Hey, Kermit. Yeah, it's been tricky. So today we have, I'm going to work on the older mermaid ring, this ring, because I have a new stone and I want to put it in this ring. So we are going to be working on this a little bit. Awesome. That's good to know. Please, everyone, remember, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask during any time during the broadcast. For those of you who aren't familiar with the stream, but never pause, always ask. I'm here for you. So, yeah. Now let us make a stone. We're gonna go here. Yeah. No, what just happened there? I'm supposed to go here. I turned my superstructure into a ball. That was no good. How is everyone doing this week? Is the weather crappy everywhere in the country? I don't know. I was still sick from the last time, so needless to say, it's been tricky. We are going to turn that off. 30, enter. 20, enter. 10, enter. Resize off. And now just make it a little bit more like that. Sorry, my throat. I cooked dinner and then I raced through it. Yay, Pellegrino. Okay, Facebook's there. Oh, good. Everybody is here. Everything is working. Let us W. Bend arc. Bend arc. Hey, Santiago. All right, I think that's more the size of our stone now. Excuse me. There's a new stone that I just discovered, and it is awesome. So there's a gentleman who has a bunch of it, and I'm gonna get a piece of it from him. It's tough as nails, and it's this really pretty blue purple. And it's hard as a rock. It's neat. It looks like purple jade, and so I figured purple jade would be a good answer for this piece. But I'm going to have to change this basic body. W. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, this is a fun piece. We've sort of made it a couple times in various ways, and it's always needed to be tuned up a bit. And then I found this, like I said, this stone that's really, really cool. So I'm going to try to change this to work a little bit better with this bigger cabochon of this stuff. It's called, what's the stone called?
Ellensburg Blue.
Ellensburg Blue. It's super cool. All right, so let us, this is our rigging, I think. Transparency. I don't want that. Okay. Oop. Oop. So the stone setting was sort of rigging, you know, to kind of stay in that pirate shippy sort of thing. This will have a bezel on it though, so this will be for visual style. Once again, if anyone out there has any questions, never hesitate to ask. I'm here to answer your questions. So, yes, take advantage of me while I'm here. Let's put it that way. We'll sort of mirror the shape there. Here, let's hide these guys. All right. So how has the week been for everyone? Anyone have any good stories to tell? Horrible stories to tell? You know. I'm an equal opportunity broadcaster. I'll listen to the bad stuff too. I agree. Let us all thank Pixelogic. I'll tell you what, they are a great company. And you'll find that most of the people who stream here, like most of us stream because we love ZBrush, not the other way around. So, you know, it's really cool to be part of a really active and incredibly talented community. All right, let's... And I don't have a scan of this stone yet, but I know it's similar to this, so we're just going to run with it. Man, everyone's quiet tonight. Not very talkative this evening, are we? Trust me, you don't want me telling stories. Come on. What are you doing? Yes, almost always I will create a render model and I will create a production model. For those of you who, why is this doing this? Well, let's hope we didn't die completely. Is the video frozen? Sometimes when I freeze up like this. Nope. Yeah, usually my stories are reserved for my stream. I don't want to drag ZBrush down. They have such a good reputation. All right, guys, what are y'all doing?
Sorry. Playing with your trail
I don't know what it was doing. Thanks. It was doing something that I didn't want it doing. There we go. So, all right. So, what Yap was asking about is, so as you'll notice, like here, you can see that this prong, there's enough prong here to technically hold that stone in place. Now, I'm also, this isn't going to be just a straight pronged piece. It'll have a bezel, a little bit different bezel sitting in this because the smell will freak me out. Thanks, I appreciate it. I didn't finish my dinner, so they brought my dinner up, but I'm really weird and the smell of my food after I've eaten the food makes me nauseous. Yeah, we still have quite a few people on the homestead today. So if we were doing this for production, I would come back in here and under normal circumstances, you pull these up just so there's plenty of meat to hammer back down and around, and then the stone setter can determine the height of that prong. But right now I'm just in design mode, so I'm not, like I said, this is just the primary seat. I'm going to change this frame to come up and sit around this. So the whole shape will change pretty dramatically. It's becoming a slightly larger piece now. So, yeah. What was that? Something just snuck in down here. All right, so that's okay. And once again, I'll come back in and like I said, this was designed for a completely different setting. And I'm just pulling away and stretching. I'm not worried about these parts looking right. Nope, that was downstairs. I know, it's chaos up here, isn't it? All right, and so then we have these guys. No, I want these guys. There we go. And as you can see, right. This obviously needs to be bigger. And this stuff needs to be a little shorter. Actually, here, let's take it from this point. Shloop. And we're just gonna make sure you have local on. And there, we can shorten that up. And then from the top, you can see what I'm creating. I'm creating really dangerous sweater traps. Right here, I have created a sweater trap. But like I said, at this point, I'm not super worried about it. I'm just taking the elements of the old ring and trying to get them in here so we can at least, oh, this is restarted since the last time I had my setting. So once again, not too stressed about a lot of this, right? And now, shloop. And like I said, we're just going to make this sort of a rendering model. So I'm going to, I'll always start with what I call a rendering model. So that's something where the prongs are in their post, or you know, their post setting scale. Because that way I'll see how the ring looks, I'll see its proportions. Because you can see here, I think these, W, and let's stretch, whoa, stretch it out a little more. Actually, what? Let's do this. Boop, extender, because I want those prongs to be a little wider there. Man, come on. There we go. I think that'll do. Right, these are roughly the same size. Similarities. Thank you for helping. Yes, I will. We will go over that. And go over that for you without a doubt. Do me a favor and remind me again, though. Just because, well, you know me, I forget everything. So, Turn symmetry back on. Why does it always pick the side that I don't want to go to? Is that one? No, that is that one. Go here, rotate that out, mask, and let's just slide that out. There we go. Or pseudo Regan. No, you're not annoying. Here, let's just do it. I think I have a stone right here. So what Kermit is talking about is creating cutters. So, right, see how I have these stones here? Let's take one of them. Boop. Split masked. Go to our stone here. And turn everyone on, off. Oop. No. Where'd that little stone go? There it is. Okay. I'm like, what the hell? So, well, yeah. It's because you're a fire starter, I think. Turn symmetry off. Select turn symmetry off. Select one stone. Hide parts. Delete hidden. Get your gizmo back on, tap your surface. Okay, now do you see what we just did there? Let me do that again for you, right? See how the stone's all squirrely and weird? Just come in, hold down Alt, tap the surface, and now the gizmo is aligned to that stone. So now we just go like this. It gets it back. It's the wrong direction. There we go. And let's send it home. So now our stone is in the middle. Let's turn our lines on. Hi, Joanne. Okay, so what we're trying to make is a seat cutter. So this is the size stone you have for your cutter, or this is the size stone you want to use. All you do is come in here, go to extender, boop. See this little blue dot? Some of you may sit here and try to grab that little blue dot. Well, you can't if your scene's locked. Rotate it, and now just move it a little off center. Now you can come right back here and move it, and I want it in between these two surfaces, right? Boop. And you can zoom in and just make sure that you're in between those two surfaces. There we go. And now we pull back out. And we just extend that. Boop. And now we grab our little guy right here. Oh, that's not what we want to do. Okay. Come out, accept. Come back into extender. Rotate, grab your blue dot, rotate back. Come down here. I would say in that range. And now just do another extender. All right, so there we go. That is the basic foundation of your cutter, right? This is whoa, what just happened there? That was funny. Right, this will be your Azure cutter. This will cut the hole underneath the stone so you can clean the stone. This will cut the seat, and this is the angle that you will be using, right, for the seat, and since it came off of your stone. So I usually come in here, and we're sculpting on a mermaid ring, but someone had a question about how to make this seat cutter, so I'm about to show you. So now I like it to be a little neater, so I'm just going to come up here, mask it, flip the mask, grab my gizmo, bring it up here, make sure it's straight, and I'm going to, just so everyone can see, right? See this crease line here? I'm just going to go to it because I want everything to wind up there. So I'm going to bring my gizmo down to my little red points in line with the line that I want all those points to come down to. Remember, you have to have local symmetry turned on. And now you just grab this and drag all this down. Now this works for anything. If you're trying to line a bunch of points up, this is the easiest way to do it. And so now all of those points are on that surface. So we clean that edge up. Now,
Up there?
what, wanting to clean points up?
Oh.
No. And so now, I haven't started the Brabus model. Everyone will get to see the Brabus model soon. Because of how the stones cut, how the facets work on a diamond or an ideal cut stone, you wind up with this girdle that has these thin spots. Well, for a cutter, I want my cutter to be a little more even, because I want it to render, so I don't want these little points. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, come here, and we're going to mask all those points off. Right? Let's clear that out and let's do it again. No, escape. So we're just going to come in here and mask all these points. Once again, hold down Alt when you do that, grab the gizmo, get it down here. Make sure you flip, so we're only doing these points. And now this point is the lowest point on the girdle cut, so that's actually your cutting point. So now we're going to bring this down to here, just like we did before. We're going to grab this, drag all this down, and what it's doing is it's bringing all those points into one place. Right? Yeah, Dynamesh. So now we have this. So you can use this as a cutter. There you go. That's all you need. Well, here. And then let's... Damn it. Why does... Stop that. What do I keep? No. Select all your points. Flip them. Grab your gizmo. Here, I'm going to do it in the middle here so you can see what happens. Local symmetry is on. Drag it. Boom. And see, now that all came to there. Now remember, let's say you have a line over here and you know that you want all your points to line up here. Same thing. Boom. 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 And look. It'll line up with that center line. Does that make sense, everyone? Anyone have any questions about that? Do you understand what's going on, Carmit? And then you can just drag that to whatever link you want. To be deadly honest, you can use this now. But as you'll notice, because of how the diamond works... Oh, I see. So what she's talking about is, see how this is not round? Well, on some pieces you don't want this sort of octagon-y looking thing, so we want to clean this up. Easiest way to do that, come in, go to Remesh by Dynamesh, grab this, drag it out to 1,000,000. Boop. Okay, so now we have a Dynamesh, right? Turn this off, turn that off, here we are. So, why is this lagging? Okay, I don't know. So what I'm going to do, boop. I'm going to rotate. See, this is the highest point, right? Let's look at this, right? That's the outside point. It's just because we have weird geometry in the simple geometry of the stones, so when we Dynamesh this, it didn't become round. So we're going to take this and let's just rotate that line out. See how it's lining up with the green point there, and that way we know it's at its farthest point out. I'm going to recenter that. No, I won't actually. Let's undo that. I'll show you why in a sec. So now I'm going to turn gizmo off. We're going to turn symmetry on. We're going to go to Y, radial, and let's just kick it up to 100. Okay. So now we have radial symmetry, Ooh, that's not center. W. Turn symmetry off. Rotate. That says that's the center of the world. Is it? There we go. Okay. Everyone see what I did? You just centered on your part and then centered in the world. That should bring it back. Return X back on. Turn Q. And there you go. Now we're round. Yes, I don't like clip curve because it changes the geometry sometimes. Yes, but clip curve can work as well. It's so useful for some, here, let's see if we can, I'll show you once we remesh. All right, so we're here. Grab, planar flatten, line, get in here a little. I'm going to turn that down just a little bit less. Grab that. Grab that. Come on, you can do it. Boom, boom. All right. So now we have a nice flat surface, and you see it didn't work all the way, right? Because these are so low that within my brush size, that didn't happen. So I'll just grab clay tubes, kick this up a little. Where's my draw size? There it is. And I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to sort of just fill this up by hand. Now, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't be spending this much time with this model, but Karmit is trying to create a model that is going to be sort of like a master part, and so she just wants to clean it. So as you can see, I've just added a bunch of geometry here, right? Now I'm going to take trim front. I'm going to sit right here on front. Oh, Sculptress Pro is on. Okay, we don't want that. And now I'm just going to come up, and you can see that that obviously was a high point. So I'm just going to come in here again, find the low point, and we'll just come down. That obviously wasn't the lowest point. All right, just grab a low point. There we go. Pick it up, smooth it out, and then just once again, boom, there we go. I'm not real worried about that because we can just trim that off. Trim front. And that's because, sorry, turn symmetry off. Come in here, get a big brush. Just go to where you have a bend. Oh. Do it again. There you go. Trim front's just a really nice, easy way to get all of that together. So there we go. And now, once again, just come up here, planar flatten, X, turn your radio count to 100, touch the farthest point out, just come down here. Yeah. You can just creep over that edge. Now you can see there's little lines. That's mostly a graphic issue, not really texture, but you can turn your SK trim on, just come back in and real quickly just tap that down. Boop. You can see that I accidentally took too much up out here. Doesn't matter, you're only using about this much of this cutter. And then same thing here, planar flatten line, go from here, come to there, and at 100, right? Clean it up, go over the edge a little. Planar flattened line will always continue over an edge, right? See this lip right here? So you need to go back to planar. I'm going to use trim front though, because I want this to be smooth again. Trim front, boop, boop. Just smooth, there you go. And there's your cutter coming. Does that make sense? Ask your question now. Well, in this, what's nice about this is it's an easy way to create a cutter from the stone that you're using. So if someone has a 2.322 stone, you make a cutter. Now, you can just scale this. You know, once you have one, you can just scale it. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I would just append it to this. Append, boop, delete your star, and then just save as, you know, ideal cutter or whatever you want to call it, you know. And then you have your cutter. I have a series of cutters that I've saved. But yeah. But now you'll see we're at 800,000. So that's a lot of geometry to have on this. So I'll always come back in W, there it is. Turn symmetry off, X, come in here, remesh by Z remesher. I say 200. Let's do 366. If I could get the Z remesh in 10 polygons, I would. And because you want this to be as small as you can, because if you have 100 stones or 200 stones, which isn't hard to get to, at 800,000, so let's just say 1 million, now all of a sudden just in cutters you have 200 million polys in cutters. So you want to get these cutters and your base gemstones as simple as possible. That's why if I were really doing production, wow, that wasn't right. If I were really truly making a production cutter, since we know that this one is right, I would duplicate this. Let's go to W, come up here, turn this into a cylinder. W, rotate this around. Make it where you have enough geometry that it's smooth, right? I want as little geometry as I possibly can get in this direction. Come in here, W, shrink this bad boy up. Go to the bottom. Close. And now let's go to the bottom here. Nope. Shoot. We're going to push that a little below. Tap on the bottom. Here's another way. Get this. Drag it up to your top. Right. Oh, there you go. And now come in, rotate this sideways. Boop. Come in here, go to Z modeler, turn your frame on, insert edge. Right. Boom, there. Insert edge. Nope. Make sure it's right on that. And then that's that. So now we just grab these. Hold on. Grab these. W, go to the center. And oops, wrong direction. Flip it. Get that there. And as you can see, it's scaled up some, right? Just make sure you're at the edge. Boop. There we go. And now mask that off. Drag this down. Zoom in here. And boom. There you go. So now your angle's the same. You know, you can move that down to whatever size. That was an arbitrary size no matter what. This is one time that I'm okay with creasing. So either crease all. Where's my, I only have uncrease. Geometry, crease, crease all, boop. And there you go. We have, no, we didn't want to crease all. I just want to crease in here. This poo on creasing. Grab Z modeler, insert your line, just drag it all the way down. Insert your line, drag it all the way up. Insert your line. Insert your line. Oh, it's masked. I'm like, why is this not? Oh, that is why it's not doing it. There we go. Boom. Drag it down. Why I don't mind creasing on these is because you're not going to add geometry to this. You're not going to divide this, right? You're trying to keep this as light as you possibly can. So, boom, 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 boom. And just throw one up there. There you go. You have 23,000 polys as opposed to 800,000 polys. And you have a really clean, sharp cutter, right? And now, that's probably what I'd do. Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, Z remeshing's fine, but like I said, if I were actually building this for, I would never go through this if I was just making a seat from one stone or something like that. If I'm building a model that I'm going to continue to reuse for lots of things, I would do it this way just to make sure it's as light as possible. Does that make sense? Let's see. Oop. Oh, awesome. Hold on. So in crit class, we looked at this part. See, now don't you agree, though, that it's more interesting with the half rounds? You know, you cut this out, so this is punching a little better off that surface. I'd say that looks great. I don't know where it is. Oh, that's it. No, I think that looks good. Don't you? Let's see. Yeah. You see what I mean, though? It's more sculptural. It's cool. You know. This is punching better. No. Good going. Let's look at the other one. Yeah. Yep. I hope you agree that I think that it makes a big difference. I do crits every month, once a month, and this is a piece from his last crit. Yeah. No. Score. All right. So, Kermit, do you have that? Everyone know how to make a stone cutter now? Yay, my support network is great. They bring me hot tea. Was that Daryl and Anatolia leaving? No, we'll do it. I do it every month. And if you, this number right here, uploads ETL files to ZBrush TSW. Anybody can upload a ZTL to that address. And then the last Monday of every month, I will do a critique session. And I'm going to talk to ZBrush if I get enough interest to do a ZBrush during the day, because a lot of East Coast people miss me and miss the critique. So if I could do it during the day, that might be helpful for more people. Yeah. Yeah, I feel much better. Antibiotics, man. They do the job. All right, where were we? Over here. Let me delete that. Frame. What's going on here? Oh, I miss you too, Mark. So this is my stone. We're working on this. Let's get this down below the stone. Organizational stuff here. Try to keep the things you're working on sort of. Alright, so let's turn that on. We'll turn that on. Merge down. Oh, I miss you more. All right. And then this guy, boop. I think that belongs to something else, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. We're going to leave that where it is at the moment. We're going to drag this down below. That's that. What's the difference? 3.4 mil, 3.4 mil. Are we seeing any difference? Oh, that has holes cut. All right, we'll just take this one. Let's take this down below here so we know we're all in the same place. All right. Have that masked off. Right. I'm going to take a very large move elastic. And I'm going to just kind of drag this out. Just kind of get everybody moving through. So that's probably there. It's kind of there, I think. All right. But now we're also going to change the shape of this because our stone has changed dramatically. And let's get at least this out here. Yeah, baskets are good structures because, well, especially if you're using expensive metal, it cuts down on your metal cost dramatically. And for ship, you know, kind of the planking, it made sense. stylistically in this case as well. Now, all right. So you can see we're changing this fairly dramatically. And we're going to come back and change how this works some too. This is almost like a two-finger ring on one finger. Big old fatty. All right. Now let's turn these guys on, because this changes how this comes and interacts with everybody. Alright, so we're going to take this, we're going to move this up, because I don't like how this line is sitting. Right. There we go. That's a little bit better line. And you can see I'm not really worried about distortion or anything, because I'm going to fill in these holes and I'm going to recage this. So I'm not committed to where this is. And then we'll also show you how to do that. Make the cage. Right. Is that a good line? I think I want it to look a little bit more like a boat. Then I'll make it wear a little wider. And since this is a friggin' big stone, the wider your base is here on the finger, right? It's less likely, it's less prone to rock around, right? So we'll keep that rather large at the moment. And luckily I have the right to change my mind at any time. So anytime I think I just made a really dumb decision, I can change it. Ah, the fickle designer, right? And you can see I'm looking at this from the bottom. I find it to be really important that things look good from all angles. Especially the bottom, actually, because I find that when you have pieces that have more finish than people are used to dealing with, it's something that impresses them, and in turn it gives your piece legs. You know, people talk about it, they're like, oh man, you know, this is such a cool ring, but you should see the inside of it. And that's like one of my big things, is I really do sculpt the living hijibis out of the back sides and the insides of pieces, because then they have stories. There's something that if you aren't the owner of the ring or pendant or whatever it is, you know, having that little secret, that little story is a big thing. I've found that people like it. People like to have, you know, that inside knowledge. And jewelry is a very personal thing, but it works with everything. You know, anytime, I mean, just think about it. When you've seen something, you really like it, and then you flip it over and the back side's as good as the front side, you're just like, what? That's madness. Mm. You mean rusty sideboard? No, this is actually kind of an older ring that, see the mastheads. Come on. I've worked on this in a couple ways, but I'm making this ring for Anatolia, who likes this ring a lot, but we have a better stone. So I'm going to have to reposition these and change these out. No, but actually, you want to see something cool? Speaking of Rusty Cyborg, where's Messenger? So this is one of the sample rings, and see it's a friction snap. Boop. So you don't have to worry about losing your pieces. And so all of this is the Rusty Cyborg line of body jewelry that we just put in the order. And so these were the first sample pieces that came out. But they're looking pretty awesome, honestly. I mean, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Right? And then here, let's go to the next one. Boop. Nope, that's teeth. And then these are the septum clickers. So I'm pretty stoked. These turned out great. And it's nice in March. We're going to go talk to the factory. It'll be fun. Well, these are the different styles. Earplugs. What else? Yep. Clickers. See, it's a hinge click. Septum clicker. Septum clicker. Sampo's something. Septum clickers. Septum clicker. Those are more clickers, 2 different sizes, smaller and bigger. I think they're 4 and 6 mil. Plugs. Once again, the 2 sizes. These are hangers. I like those. I might actually wear those. That was super weird. Hangers. There we go. So the Rusty Cyborg line of jewelry is done. It has been ordered. It looks pretty good, I think. There's the stuff on Sampa's table. There's Pinhead. There he is. Ah! Yeah, other earrings. All right, so there you go. You asked about Rusty Cyborg, so I thought I'd share Rusty Cyborg with you. That came in today. All right, back to this guy. Working on our cage. Like in Jaws. We need a bigger boat. I think we did need a bigger boat. Okay, so obviously this is all lumpy and befuddly and, you know, not super helpful really at the end of the day. So we're gonna come in. Ooh, that's the wrong tool. Come in. And that is way too high. There we go. And here we're just going to come in and I'm going to fill in all this stuff because I'm going to redefine the shape of the ring now that it's changed some. Right. Mm-hmm. And I'm also trying to get rid of a lot of this detail stuff because There we go. Because I'm going to ZRemesh this, and ZRemesh often tries to keep like all the little geometry. If you have like really pinched detailed geometry and you smooth it out, when you ZRemesh, it'll often try to retain that geometry. It's really good and really annoying at the same time. So I'm just flattening everything out. Oh, stop that. Boom. Ooh. Right. Just getting this to be a little bit more homogeneous. See you later. The woman who cleans our house just left. She's very nice. So now, I'm just coming in here and I'm filling in these holes because I'm going to change all this. And I'm going to create, I want to make sure the shape is smooth. You know, we've just stretched all that out and see all this lumpy, jerky-durky. I mean, I can spend a ton of time sitting there trying to get it right. Or I can just come in here, fill in all our holes, and then I want to, since I want a handful of really practical show pieces by the end of the year, when I mean really practical, I mean things done. So we will be doing a lot of new work in these here coming up soon. But I'm going to get some stones that I like, and then we're just going to build around stones. And that's always fun because then you're stuck with the parameters of the stones you get. But that builds some interesting things, you know. I don't know if any of you got Paul's book, the older book, or seen the mermaid ring, the big purple amethyst. It was just this huge amethyst. And so I built a piece for what's cool about that is, you know, once again, just it's fun as a designer to build around stones. So June, JCK. Gonna get a bunch of stones. My friends, the Hopkins brothers, are sell opals, and so I'm gonna try to get a few really nice opals, and then there are a few spinels that I've really been kind of looking at that I like, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Did the broadcast die? Did something happen there? If something happened, it was because this was thinking and it just used all my CPU power. Am I still on? Can you all see and hear me? I love I get everyone. All right, so you can see what I've done. We sort of filled it up, right? Now we just come back in, W, boop, remesh by union. Oh, turn symmetry off. Thanks. Remesh by union. And that is going to take this, yeah, sorry, sometimes when my CPU, when I get it up to 100%, it pauses all other things. So, thanks, Eric. You twit. All right, so now that's live. And we're going to come back in. Maybe Sculptris Pro this at a large scale. The symmetry one. Alright. Nice way to get all this homogenized. Oh, thank you, sir. Right, okay. So there we go. We're kind of got a few holes in there. Close holes. Boop. Alright. So now let's divide this a little. Let's come back in with clay tubes. And get the feel for it. Sculptris Pro doesn't like no. There we go. What? Are you kidding me? Oh, you're killing me. Hello. There it is. All right. Yeah, it's because it was Sculptris Pro and it was crying, and Sculptris Pro doesn't like stuff like this. That's why it doesn't like models. This, you know, this is 6 mils. It's not a big, hey, let's go in and do big modeling. Pro is for. And especially how I use it. So now I'm really just going to try to come in and figure out what I want the shape to look like. And we know where we're going again. You know, we have the old foundation as, you know, an idea. You can see I'm not too worried about the, why is that doing that? Only a 5.8 million poly model. There's no reason for this lagging. Really? Fine, here. Let's just ZBrush it now. Delete lower. Turn symmetry off. And I'm going to try to get this. Okay, so first duplicate it. And now I'm going to try to get this as low as I possibly can. Let's try it. What are you doing? See that? Frustrating. Okay. All right. So now, 1,000, right? Boop. Tap it. And now it's going to remesh this. Now, you'll see what I mean. See these like little pinches right here that are remnants of the old geometry? And you'll sort of see like this climpy, pinchy geometry here. Why it's taking so long is it's trying to figure out how to get that detail in the ZBrush. So often I'll spend more time and make sure that the model's smooth so it doesn't try to remesh stuff that you don't really want it thinking about. But for some reason we're lagging, so let's just get this Z-remeshed, and we can go from there. Are there any questions while I'm sitting here waiting for this to choke its way through this remesh? I don't know why it's being this, it shouldn't take this long. Do I have something else on that is eating my CPU? Nope, Photoshop's not on. Come on. Interesting. The Z-remesher is using 27% of the CPU. It's chugging. All right, it'll work its way through. I know, right? My poor bruiser. I love that it's sitting on a table below my desk, so it sort of looks like it's small now, but it's not. I think they're great. I have mine right there. When I travel, it's what I use. I mean, you know. Yeah, no, I mean, it's a perfectly usable machine. I have the stacked out one, whatever it is, you know, with the most RAM and the most, whatever, you know, the biggest one. But, I mean, you know, when I'm in London for 6 months, I used it for 6 months. When I was in Spain, you know, 4 months, I use it for 4 months. When I'm here, I don't use it, but, you know, on the road, it's perfectly fine. Actually, I think it's a pretty good option. I'm real interested in, they have the engines for the Wacom Pros, or the Cintiq Pros. So a 20, like what is it, the 28-inch Cintiq with that engine in it, if you could make a piece of luggage for that, you could travel with that, and that would be really sexy. I have to actually go talk to I have to go talk to Wacom here soon. They've been at trade shows, so we've been, and then I was at in Vegas, so we keep missing each other. Let's turn this off. Let's look at what we got. All right, it's a little heavy around that top edge, but oh, it's heavy because it had to keep that. All right, fine. That'll do. That'll do, pig. And now let's divide this up. All right. Boop. Well, I'll tell you, Mark, like I said, I have had absolutely no, I mean, I had a little issue with mine, and they took care of it right away. Yeah, no, it's a good machine, without a doubt. It's funny, I'm so used to the big Cintiqs. You have to get used to having a small Cintiq, but, you know, that is what it is. Use it for just a little bit, and you don't even notice that it's too bad. Well, let's look. Is it under settings? Is that? Preference, performance, max threads. Yeah, I don't know. I'll ask Kyle. I'm not even going to make a comment about you, Carmi. You don't get you. Not OBS. Oh my God, I don't even know what we're dealing with. I'll ask, like I said, I'll ask Kyle. I don't know. I'm an idiot when it comes to this crap, man. So now I just really want to try to capture the silhouette of the ring, right? Normally I'll do this at a much lower res, you know, in block up, but since we already had it here, I figured we'd just go over a different way of going about things. Seymour, you're just confusing me. You know I can't see prompt my way out of a paper bag. I have no idea what we're talking about. Well, he's busy. He's got some things going on. But Kingsley's still there, and Sarah? Is it Sarah? I get confused. I don't remember. It doesn't sound right. Stephanie, not Sarah. So this month I want more of you to participate and send models in for the critiques. Because everyone learns when we go over models. It's nice. Because everyone builds models differently. It's always fascinating to see how people put things together.